Welcome back, and thank you for sticking with us through our break. The heroes needed to go up and stretch their legs and get a drink and all of that wonderful stuff. The GM needed to look at his notes and go, "Oh God, what are these crazy people doing next?"
Even
like
we don't know.
The
Like you
usual.
And we had to get Agaruk away from our really sad intermission music. So,
I need to talk to Will about maybe, since all of our shows are superhero shows now, we should have like some brass fanfare kind of Superman animated series music.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm gonna make
Something.
I'm gonna talk to him about it.
Anywho, when we left off, Marshall was about to enter Professor Cephalopod's lair.
The Cephala's pod, so to speak.
So let's pick up right there.
Beep, 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 beep,
Wiki,
beep.
I'm assuming that Ceph has has cameras outside the lair to let them know.
Oh yeah, got proximity alarms and.
Yep.
Like the entrance to
You're aware
Jabba
that-
the Hutt.
You're aware that he's there before he even opens the door, but
So once I know that he's there, I will reach over to the tablet on one of the tables and pull up some information that he would recognize from the project. Probably specifically some of the stuff that he provided on the project to see if he gets there.
so yeah, Marshall, you'd recognize it.
But I'm walking into basically a high-tech mechanical workshop with a number. You said there's a couple of large tanks, if it's the same one as last week.
Yep.
It's like on one side, it's like a regular kind of workshop thing that you would expect in like a engineering lab. And then on the other side is basically a series of giant aquariums. Like
With a
there's
giant
even-
octopus in one of them.
Uh-huh. Kind of
And-
up on the side, eyes poking out the top,
And the metal
Arms up
suit
like this.
hanging from the ceiling.
toward the back.
You can create.
Thanks for letting me in. Can you talk to me without the suit?
Yes. There's a speaker buried somewhere in the tools. But you can hear the voice coming out of it.
Okay. This is not, well, it's not what I would have expected before this afternoon. But, so, what do I call you? Professor Cephalopod?
In public, yes.
Okay,
You can call me Seth.
And- Seth. And how do you know my name? Have we met
Oh, one of the arms flops at the
at the thing?
the
The pad, like,
pad. You know, it's like a tablet.
this is privilege. Did you hack this?
Oh no, that's my info. You did that work for me.
What was your wife's name? I forget. No, player question. What is your wife's name?
I also forgot. Hey GM, what was my wife's name?
You've been an octopus too long.
Did we write that down somewhere? Sure we did.
You did.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Her name is Octo Mom.
Hey, take his hero point.
Carol. Irons.
Yes, that's it. Carol Irons.
Carol, how did you get turned into an octopus?
Well, one might say that the research worked, but I don't know how. There
My
was an accident,
research or
just the project in general. Clearly it works, but there were some complications.
does Cyrus know?
I am Cyrus.
Oh, shoot. Does Carol know?
Carol is dead.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It happened a while ago.
Well, I always liked her. She had a good mind. This explains a few things.
But you can't tell anyone.
Who would believe me?
True, but I can't have my kids in danger.
I understand. My granddaughter's here in ECU. She was with me this afternoon. So,
What's up with, I'm an octopus. What's going on with you?
I'm an octopus.
nothing until 2:38 this afternoon when a truck exploded and then an SUV wrapped itself around me like I was a phone pole.
So, super strength? Vulnerability? What you got?
I can push a car and I can lift a couple of people, but I mean that you saw the claws on that woman.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even break my skin. I didn't even feel it.
Well, that's impressive.
Tore my shirt and left a big hole in my pants. I think I was like half mooning people on the way home. But you said you don't know how it worked?
The transference? No, we were running, well, I broke the first rule of sciencing and I was running experiments alone.
On yourself? Or was it an accident?
Not specifically on myself, but I was testing some of the new equipment. And then I woke up as an octopus. And boy, was that kind of a shock.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, the marine biology lab next door was running their own research on this body. And long story short, I had to break out.
Well,
luckily, octopuses are apparently good at that.
Yeah. I have to admit, I don't know much about octopi, and you know that mechanical engineering was always my strength, not bio or electric. But anything I can do to help you figure this out, I will. And anything maybe you can help me figure out exactly what I can and can't do.
Oh yes, we can some of the arms come out and sweep a bunch of stuff away from one table.
Without meaning to, I get splashed and covered in salt water.
There's random like medical testing equipment, things like that.
As a bunch of tentacles come at you, cracking their knuckles that they don't have, saying, "Let's find out how tough you really are."
Yeah.
As they stretch, the suckers that attach to each other start popping. Pop, 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 pop.
So what about the others?
Wow. Well, the young boy with the portals, as far as I can tell, he was in Freedom City and he was robbing banks. It was a long time ago, but apparently he's served his time and he's trying to, go the right direction because he's reporting to a parole officer. That's why he raised his hands when the police showed up.
Oh, okay. I guess.
I
that
say
makes
we
sense.
encourage him.
I mean, I think Emerald City needs a team. And
I saw that, the Octo Squad.
oh, you saw that, did you? I thought it was flashy, or isn't that what? I don't know. I'm not good with.
Well,
Oh,
you're an octopus, I'm an octogenarian. We just have to figure out what everybody else is octo.
For reasons he doesn't understand, Peter just starts twitching.
well, the first thing we need to do is figure out how to contact the others.
I know how to contact Portal. I don't know who the other two are. They took off pretty quickly.
So we could
Look for them.
issue an invitation to Portal.
That's true.
Maybe Portal knows the others.
I'll text him. Do you know how to contact the others? I'm with Professor Cephalopod.
All right, let's pause the two of you here for a moment, then jump back over to Peter, who got his answer about that, the truck had clearly exploded from within, and then, went silent. What would you be doing with that information?
I guess I'm gonna kind of just, as I'm kind of decompressing, do whatever research I can on Redshift.
Okay. Do you have investigation?
Yes.
Yeah.
One.
Well, then now seems like a not terrible time to make an investigation check.
20. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Dirty 20 is a good dirty 20. So it takes, maybe an hour or two of digging through, public records and going through filings and picking up on, little clues that the average person would miss, but you learned all about while you were at Claremont University or Claremont Academy. You are able to determine that Redshift Energies is, it is a green energy company. It is they're local to Emerald City. They've been very successful over the last maybe 5-10 years. Their technology is being used in quite a few newer model hybrid vehicles. They are a wholly owned subsidiary of Paladine Industries. And with a little bit more digging, you're able to realize that Paladine is actually a shell company, which is owned by Mars Tech.
All right. So why is Mars Tech hiding their association with Redshift? Interesting.
If you want to do a little bit of additional digging, you're easily able to find that Mars Tech is one of the largest employers in Emerald City. It is one of the most successful technology companies in the world. And its owner is a man known by the name of Maximilian Mars, who lives here in Emerald City. So
Okay. My cell phone goes off. I look at it. I text back a poop emoji. Let it back down. Well, this is interesting, but it's a whole lot of dots, and I don't know yet how to connect them. And I'll grab back my phone. But do you know anything about Mars Industries or Maximilian? Maximilian what?
Mars. Maximilian Mars.
Maximilian Mars. It should be simple enough to remember, and yet it's not.
UI?
It was the poop emoji to us as well.
Yes.
Neither of us understands the poop emoji. I'm not confident.
I don't understand the whole emoji thing. These kids. But I have technology. Would that be a technology role or a knowledge role for
to know about Maximilian Mars?
and or Mars Tech?
I'll let you give me an technology. I mean, it's really more about the industry than knowing the business, but sure.
18.
Okay.
And I will ask Professor Cephalopod.
Sure. Yeah, you don't know a whole lot more about Maximilian Mars personally than what I already said. He's been a major employer and investor, but he is himself a scientist as well. He's not just a CEO. He also, the initial patents that got Mars Tech started were his.
What kind of scientist?
Give me a second and I will let you know. Expertise, science. He is comic book scientist. He has multiple PhDs in a variety of disciplines, mostly technology-based, engineering, computers, electronics.
So science italicized with an exclamation point.
Yep. Yeah,
So,
the old joke still of science.
So perhaps not Max himself, but any of, I assume Mars Tech would be on my radar, at least in the robotics, engineering, computer science field.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps articles that I've read about them, that kind of thing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I mean, Mars Tech is you would be right on top of a lot of the discoveries and the industries that they support. You would be aware that there are quite a few subsidiaries of Mars Tech, just largely to avoid antitrust issues.
Yeah.
But they're big. They're, like I said, they are one of the largest employers in Emerald City. There is a lab on Emerald City University campus called the Parker Institute of Technology, which is a partnership between the university and Mars Tech. Kind of the weird thing is that Mars kind of came out of nowhere a little over 10 years ago, during the Terminus invasion. There's some speculation that some of his early developments might have been from reverse engineering some of the technology that Omega used, but.
And have I ever received funding from Mars Tech?
Probably not.
Not that I'm aware of.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, you get another ping from a text from me, and it says, "How confident are we that the explosion was an accident?"
Not very.
I mean,
Actually, I would follow that up with, we do not know without further investigation.
without proof,
And, you know, and access to the remains of the truck.
but it seems like, let's just call it an interesting accident.
Hey, Peter.
Hey, what?
It occurs to you that with the contact information that you got from the officer, you might be able to get access to the truck.
So I got contact information for not the Buster.
Patrolman Lee. Yeah, Buster Lee.
Was it a phone call that I could text? Like, can I text him, or would it be something I could call or email, or what kind of?
I would say you could text him, sure.
Okay, I will. Yeah, I'll go ahead and text him. I don't have a secret identity. And just say, Officer Lee, this is Peter. Is it possible for me and some of the others at the scene to get a look at the truck? We want to rule out at least whether or not it was an accident.
And you'll quickly get a text back that says, that they'll have to double check with their superiors, but that is probably something that could be arranged, in the interest of fostering a good relationship between the heroes and the police.
Thank you very much.
And that they'll get back to you. We're gonna freeze the three of you for a moment as you're doing your texting back and forth as you do your research, and check back in with Ethan. So Ethan, you've been making a costume.
Yeah, I went down to the art lab where my forge is that I usually do my metalworking with. And I picked up some sheet metal and I forged it into some relatively loose body armor and took it down to the paint hall and painted it up to be nice and shiny, and I have a big duffel bag full of my ill-gotten gains and I'm trying to lug back across campus.
Why are you trying to lug it? You can just move it with your mind.
That's new to me.
Because he forgot to do that.
And I can't
He's
do
right-handed.
that. I will make it look like I'm lugging it, but I will lift it a little bit every now and then when I get sweaty.
Okay. When you get back to your room with your new costume, Tommy is pointing out. He's like, "Oh, good, you're back. I didn't want to bother
Aaron,
you while you."
Aaron, I don't want to derail, but I had an idea that maybe I ran into Keone on her way to the library since we go to the same college.
I'm good with that. Sure.
So yeah, there I am in my red hoodie with the hood up, realizing I didn't change clothes after my.
All right. So yes, Keone.
We are awesome superheroes.
I've got a big bag of metal with me.
While you are crossing campus, you see someone who is wearing a red hoodie that looks awfully familiar, especially the area across the chest where there's a big stain that looks like a manhole got slammed into it.
I probably smell like sewer. No.
He isn't wearing the welding mask, but you're pretty sure that that's the same guy who you were hanging out with this afternoon.
Are we alone? Like, is there anyone like really around us like that would notice?
No, it's dinner time. The quad is fairly empty at the moment.
Okay, so I kind of walk by him and I look and I'm like, wait a minute, and kind of do a double take and kind of creepishly turn back around like a weird stalker. I just like kind of turn around and look and kind of sneak behind him a little bit.
Ethan has no idea.
His perception is low. So he's focused and tunneled on where he's going, and I'm kind of sneakishly going around him and kind of following him as he walks, kind of seeing where he goes. Because I'm still trying to figure out, I've had my powers, so my powers are of no need to practice with, essentially.
Right, yeah.
Oh
I'm
God.
interested to know why all these other people were confused about what they were doing. So
We're gonna make it all the way back to my dorm.
You absolutely are, unless Keon or unless Cindy feels like stopping you before that. Yes, you will.
Yeah, so I'm lugging my heavy box. Every now and then I'll stop and look up, not looking behind me to see that Cindy's back there, and I'll float it around a few hundred yards, and then I'll run up to it and I'll start lugging it again.
Yeah, you notice that, Cindy, and it's at this point perfectly obvious to you that it is definitely him.
that I'm not following the incorrect person and being
Correct.
no, I am following him. I am investigating.
Okay.
It becomes investigating when I realize I'm correct.
Yep.
Yeah, that's science.
All right. So
Definitely
Exclamation
science.
point.
And we'll get to my dorm, and I'll whisper, yell, Tommy, Tommy, come to the balcony,
all right, he'll do that.
and I'll float the bag up to him and drop the metal on the porch beside him, way louder than I intended it to be. And then I'll look around, I'll grab my dorm key, and I'll go over and I'll let myself in.
When you look around before you let yourself in, you notice a girl watching you.
Intently.
Not creepy or anything.
I don't know what you think you saw, miss, but okay, have a good day. And I'll open the door.
Awesome superheroes.
Oh, goodness.
Awkward superheroes are awkward.
Yeah.
I mean, the old guy and the octopus are fine.
How
I'm
is
gonna
that?
get
The
a
octopus is the
person.
most well-adjusted of all of us.
That's my new band name. The old guy and the octopus are fine.
And yeah, I won't lock the door behind me because I feel like my firm talking to has done the job, and I will run upstairs.
My firm talking to.
I have to take issue with just how completely and utterly accurately you're playing a college guy.
So, I'm going to point out that if Cindy were so inclined, she could just ice slide up to the balcony and meet him up there.
I know. I was trying to decide if I wanted to be extra obvious or if I wanted to just walk up to his dorm room and knock on the door.
I mean, I feel like the extra obvious would be the best way to do the look. We can talk to each other because we both have a secret.
Right.
They are.
He's not
He is
picking
a
up what
college
you're going
guy.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, I think I would ice slide right on up there.
I run.
All right.
I run up to the dorm room and I slam the door behind me, and I'm like, Tommy, this is the weirdest day ever.
And I just walk in and
Meanwhile,
say,
Tommy is still standing
"You were
by the
saying."
balcony, looking at the woman who has just rode an ice slide up to your balcony.
You were
And
saying.
He just
Greatest
turns
first
back,
day ever.
looks at
Ethan,
you
put
and
this on the
says,
doorknob.
"You don't say."
I run up to his laptop, slam it shut, and throw the lotion on the floor.
No.
Oh, no. Boys are gross.
You. I guess both of you should see this, and he's pointing to the TV.
I'll look over and try
Are
to
y'all
push
gonna
my
invite
chest
me
out.
in?
Hi, I'm Tommy.
Wait, does she need to be invited in?
I'm not a vampire.
It's not rude.
Yeah, you're being rude. You're just like, I'm gonna leave this girl on the balcony. Like,
Okay,
Can
this is a
I-
weird day for me, lady. Ice
Can
princess.
I get you something to drink?
I'm good, thanks.
Ice water.
I'm gonna have a drink.
Good choice.
Yeah.
What's
That's
on
all right.
TV? What's playing on the TV?
So on the TV there is it's still tuned to the news, and there is a number, scrolling across the Chiron where it says that the Emerald City Police Department is asking that the heroes who acted today reach out to Officer to Chief of Police. I'm blanking on his name. I have too many names to keep track of. Marcus Tolliver. And there is a direct line number that is scrolling across.
Well, what's your name? Because I don't think
My
Ice
name's
Princesses is it. Cindy?
Cindy.
You're not Elsa?
No.
Okay.
And I resent that.
Sorry.
My name's Crucible.
Oh, we're giving our fake names now? I'm Keone.
Keone, okay. I don't know. Are you a supervillain? I mean, I know you saved the day or whatever, but I can't just go giving my secret identity to whoever asks.
I followed you to your dorm room.
I'll look at Tommy. What do we do? What's the protocol?
I'm gonna get put back in prison.
Okay, so.
I guess my name's Ethan, but don't tell anybody.
Yeah, same for you. So do you so I'm assuming you two, so do you both have superpowers?
Yeah, I have all sorts of superpowers.
Care to show me?
No.
I'm gonna lift my hand and bring the toaster back and it hits me in the head again.
So clearly yours are not ones you were born with.
You can be born with superpowers?
I've had mine since I was a kid.
I thought you were bit by like a radioactive snow person or something.
Have
I
you
don't know.
been a radioactive snow person? So first I was a vampire and now I'm a radioactive snow person?
I wouldn't know if I saw one.
I mean, this seems to be going pretty ineffectively on your part.
What does that mean? Actually, I was born with my superpowers, and they're just acting up.
Okay. So I saw you coming out of the art department area. Is that what you're here for school?
No, I'm a chemical engineer major. But and I'll sort of awkwardly pick up the bag that I floated up here. I want to be an art major, but my dad doesn't like the idea. Here, let me show you. I made something today, and I'll sort of unzip the bag and I'll lay out the sort of chrome polished armor I put together for my Crucible costume. And I buffed up the welding mask real nice so it looks shiny and pretty.
So that's why they call you Darth Magnet.
They called me Darth Magnet because I didn't say hi and what my name was. But I didn't know what my name was until I got back here and talked to Tommy. Because Tommy is the guy in the chair.
Is that a superpower?
Kind of.
So like, can you float in the chair? Is that like a thing?
No.
I mean, he may have a little bit when I left.
And Sue.
Interesting.
But he coordinates and he's got good ideas and he's smart. And we're gonna go test my powers at our secret lair.
Wait, test your powers? I thought you said you've had your powers since you were a kid. What do you need to test out?
I've got to get them back under control because things are just not going the way that I want them to.
He's so bad at lying, it's hilarious.
You don't even need to make an insight check to smell the bullshit.
Yeah.
Look, okay, should we call the police? Like that number, since he's looking for help?
They're never looking for help.
What do you think he's looking for?
To arrest us, to imprison us, to test on us, to do something. No one's ever just looking for help. We have to find those other people.
What if they're calling the cops?
Do you really think an octopus man is calling the cops?
No, but Marshall was like 1,000,000 years old. He would definitely call the cops.
Not wrong.
I will give you that one.
I grew up in the era of the police are your friends.
True.
Meanwhile, Peter has already called the police.
I got an idea. Okay. Give me your phone. And I'll call the number on the TV.
Using her phone.
No!
I'll give that man a hero point.
Yeah.
Good idea. Let me see your phone.
And here I thought I was just going to get your number.
Ooh.
The phone's ringing, and it takes a second for Ethan to make that connection. He's like, wait a minute, you want my number?
Tommy
Why?
is at this point going to say, I can create a Google number and we can call from there so it doesn't trace back to your cell phone.
I'll hang up.
Yeah, that's how it works.
How are we so bad at this?
So he quickly, starts tapping away at the computer, connects a microphone and speaker and says, all right, I'm dialing.
Put a voice scrambler on it.
Yeah. And
I want to sound like Darth Vader.
It rings a few times.
That is not going to help your case.
Emerald City Police Department.
Hello, citizen. Is the police chief there?
Who is this?
Crucible.
That's supposed to mean something?
Only if you are evil and feel like having terror struck into your heart.
Look, kid. We're the cops. This number is for the superheroes to call.
I know. I'm one of the superheroes from today. I'm new to this. Okay, just give me some slack.
Maybe you should let me do the talking.
Yeah. Keone, come over here.
Is that your girlfriend?
No.
I ship it.
Yep.
So
I'll hand
I'm
the voice
Keone.
modulator
I'm the
back
one.
over.
I'm the one that came with the ice powers. What is this phone number that we're supposed to call to help?
Let me transfer you over to the chief. Hold on.
Told you they weren't going to be very helpful.
I give Keone a thumbs up.
You're put on hold for just a few, maybe 15, 20 seconds. And then a deep voice answers and says, "This is Marcus Tolliver. I'm told that this is two of the heroes who were there today."
Yes. This is the Ice Princess, Keone.
I'm Crucible,
And
otherwise known as
yeah.
Darth Magnet.
Your timing is fortunate. I just got a message from one of the officers who apparently was in touch with I think he said Portal, that the other three of them wanted access to examine the truck that was at the center of the explosion. I think we might be able to all help each other. I'm willing to give them access and give you access if you'll allow me to talk to the five of you when you're there.
How do we know we can trust you?
Frankly, it's a bigger step for me to trust you than it is for you to trust me.
I'm going to press mute on the microphone. I think we should talk to him.
Have you ever trusted the police?
I've never encountered the police.
Well, I have, and I don't trust him. I don't think he's actually even talked to any of the other superheroes.
Well, if it's a trap, I got your back. And I'll sort of smirk.
But your powers are on the fritz.
All over that toaster again. That worked.
Their guns are made of metal, right?
I mean, I guess it depends on what kind of metal you can move around.
I look at Tommy like I hadn't thought about that yet. All right, how about this? How about I go talk to him and you watch my back, and if things go bad, you can pull me out.
Okay.
I'll unmute.
That sounds like a good plan.
You got a deal, Officer Tolliver.
Chief Tolliver.
Chief Tolliver.
Look, kid. I saw the footage. You're clearly trying to do some good. If the reports that we got all day are any indication, Emerald City's gonna need some people like you and your friends. And things are gonna be better for all of us if we can trust you and you can trust us.
I agree. I will try to talk to my friends. My colleagues.
I'm going to have Officer Brown tell your friends to come out to the site of the explosion. It's still cordoned off, but we will give all of them access to the truck. Why don't you and Keone be there at the same time? Say 9:30.
You got it, Chief.
Don't call me Chief.
Damn.
Okay. Meanwhile, Portal, you will get a text back from Officer Brown or Patrolman Brown.
9:30? 11 minutes? Yeah, I can make that.
He will, yes, and it will tell you that Chief Tolliver has given permission for you, for the heroes to investigate, to examine the truck, and that as far as he was told, apparently Keone and Crucible will meet you there. Not that those names mean anything to you.
Not a bit. But
Oh.
I will send that information on to Marshall.
11 minutes? Crap. Seth, can you fly? You can fly. Can you carry me?
Oh, yes.
You carry-
Oh, you mean on the suit? Yeah.
Please carry him like a baby.
And as I watch you get into the suit, I'm like, now that's a hell of a thing.
All right.
Keone, I think. I'm
And
gonna
is there
need a bigger
something I can
DirecTV
use
dish.
there's something I can use in the lab to make a quick mask?
Oh, yes. There's
Just like,
all kinds of stuff.
I'll take a towel and just burn out a couple of eye holes with a soldering iron and just put it around my face.
We put the super in superheroes.
Yeah.
Hey, question. Does Peter have a costume?
Yes.
Okay. He just hadn't had time to put one on before this afternoon.
Yeah. There was an emergency, and he's like, I don't have time to look special. I gotta go help.
Okay.
And so he will go home and put on his suit.
Okay.
I'm still wearing I would have changed my trousers because they had holes in the butt,
They did.
but I'll actually be wearing slacks and a button-down shirt and a pocket protector.
Oh my
Not
God.
the T-shirt you took out of the gift
No.
shop.
Not the t-shirt I took out of the gift shop.
Seth will take a look at the whole thing going on there and go, we'll work on that later.
I know.
This is a lot.
All right. So through the magic of plot,
Devin looks at me with his tentacles, goes, square.
I was gonna say, Keone, I'm gonna need a bigger satellite dish if we're going together.
It's all right. I'll just slap you on my back and I slide the bitch.
I'll piggyback. That's fine. Oh, but Keone, before we get there, don't tell anybody who I am, and I won't tell anybody who you are.
Deal.
Be our little secret.
okay. So via the magic of plot, you will all arrive back in a familiar scene of Yellow Brick Row, although it looks very different than it did a few hours ago. The area has been cordoned off. So there's, the only people who are there are still, emergency crews, no longer medical crews because that's been taken care of, but, there's still construction and, there are areas that are marked off because they're unsafe. And there are lots of police around who are trying to make sure that things are not messed with. And as you each make your way over towards where the truck exploded, you do see that there is a 50-ish man, black man, tall, fairly imposing, standing there, chewing gum.
Before we get to that, before I left Crucible's house or dorm, I changed my costume.
Right. I figured.
Do we recognize this man?
Probably not.
You might have seen him on TV today.
Yeah, you might have seen him on TV today, but actually, I would say that Portal and Keone would have seen him on TV today, and Marshall would have as well. Yes, this is the police chief. This is Marcus Tolliver.
Nice to meet you, Chief Tolliver. And I point to the giant portal behind me and I say, I'm Portal.
So I gathered. And Professor Cephalopod comes flying in carrying Marshall, sort of bored, and a geezer in a mask.
A geezer.
I basically try to position myself to step gingerly off, and I fall from like 20 feet, and I do, but realize that I land on my feet without a problem and without anything breaking. And I look really surprised.
Superhero landing.
We all look really
Yep.
surprised.
I go down to one knee, my fists clenched. Oh, no.
Okay.
I look at that and I witness that and I start getting ideas.
Right. And then cephalopod descends. Kiona and Crucible, you two will arrive at about the same time.
Yeah, I'm holding
He's
on
on my
very
back
tight.
What was that?
I'm holding on very tight. Like I don't want to fall.
He's on my back like Yoda.
Okay.
He's sliding us in.
Steve Tolliver, thank you. Good to meet you. I think you can call me Bulwark.
Bulwark. It's a good name.
It's Professor Cephalopod and Portal and all the chaos. I didn't get my other companions' names this afternoon. But I'm glad you're both here.
Well, I'm assuming, and he points to Ethan, Crucible and Kione.
You would be correct.
Actually, it's the other way around. I've got the voice modulator in my welding mask too.
So before I let you guys have access to the site, I've been talking with the officers who are on the scene and reviewing the eyewitness reports. You, 5 of you did some good today. Emerald's been a quiet place to live for a while. We haven't had a lot of this. We haven't needed it. We haven't had a lot of supervillains either. Looks like things are going to change. Any of you familiar with a hero named Commander USA?
I don't know. Are we?
I'll allow intellect or expertise superheroes or history check.
Roll on that big old +0.
Wait, so which ones did you say? You said insight,
Intellect. Expertise history, expertise superheroes.
8, no.
I got an 18.
So straight up intellect, I have a 10.
Okay.
But if it's based on anything that I may have read or seen, it would bump it up to a 15.
Okay.
I got a 21.
I have never heard of him.
I got a 20.
I got a 21.
All right.
Aha.
So everyone other than Bulwark, which is kind of ironic because Bulwark actually remembers some of this himself, or might remember it. There was a World War II era mystery man named Commander USA in Freedom City. So, who was considered by many to be one of the first black superheroes. But yeah, everyone other than Bulwark will recognize that name.
Chief Tolliver, we're a bit far from Freedom City.
We are, but that's I've got family there. That was my uncle.
Wow.
He was a bit of an inspiration for me growing up, actually, to a lot of us. Be that kind of hero. And he offers his hand.
My mechanical hand will come out.
Do you make that face when it comes out too every time?
I do. I don't know if Seth does.
I'm gonna just, with a very earnest look on my face, give him a very sincere shake and say, "Thank you. We'll try."
Welcome to Emerald City. Now, see what you can make of this. And there's a couple of forensic techs, looking through it, but they will make way for you guys to take a look at the truck.
I'll look over to Bulwark and say, yeah, just tell me whatever you need, and I'll hand it to you. This is not my area of expertise.
I don't have demolitions, but I have technology, expertise, mechanical engineering, and expertise physics.
I will allow any of those or investigation for anyone who wishes to examine the truck.
Aaron, I would like to spend a hero point for beginner's luck in investigation, and I'm going to be reaching out around the area with my magnetic sense just to see if I get anything weird as I'm.
I like it.
So I'll spend my hero point.
I will actually go straight to the forensics folks and ask them specifically about biological matter they may have found.
Okay.
I will actually spend my hero point to re-roll mechanical engineering.
Okay.
I'm also
not happy with the 13.
Nope, because this is where I'm a Viking. So
Aaron,
I have an 11. I have a 20.
Okay.
I'm also going to spend a hero point on my investigation check to reroll. I got a 14.
Okay.
Yeah, this is where I feel like he should be able to shine. So yes.
There we go.
And I will talk to the forensics folks, ask what they found, and.
All right. So
I'm going to need to use my investigation reroll, so I'm going to use that hero point since I got a 10.
Okay.
That's awful.
I got a 13, but I have
worse.
a +9. No, because if you spend a hero point, if you roll less than a 10,
it becomes
you add 10 to your roll.
Yeah, so you actually have a 16.
Yeah, still only a 16 though, but
okay. All right. So, Marshall, looking around the excuse me, looking around in the the explosion and the wreckage of the truck, you're going to be able to see that there is it is very obvious to you that the explosion was caused by something in the storage tanks reacting and exploding outward. That is what caused the explosion. You don't see any signs that there was a bomb or other device attached to the tanks. So you don't think that there was an explosive attached. It was whatever was in the tanks reacted to something. Professor Cephalopod and Bulwark, you will, from talking to the forensics people, the only biological matter that seems to be anywhere near the truck was the driver, who is very dead.
Yes,
There he was.
exploded.
Yeah.
What?
He's just pining for the fjords.
Do we know what route the trucks took? Like where they left from? Had they been on the road 10 minutes or had they been on the road for an hour and a half?
They do not know yet, but that is something that they're going to. They have already subpoenaed records from Redshift to get answers.
Because if it was a reaction, why here? What happened here? Is it something chemical that took 20 minutes for it to build up enough pressure, or did something get added to the mix, or did something internal break?
Yep. I mean, they're agreeing that those are all important questions, but they're not anything that they could get an answer to from what they've been able to find so far.
I will go over to the truck area itself and grab some of my own samples,
Okay.
particularly from those interior tank areas.
Okay. So let me get back. Ethan, with your 26 investigation and your magnetic senses.
Yeah, I have accurate, acute, and analytical.
Yeah. So there is a super fine metallic dust that you are. It's so fine that you can't even see it, but you can feel it. And using your powers, you could even gather up some of this dust into a sample.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say, hey, Professor Cephalopod.
Yes.
Do you have a evidence collection kit in that? Are you a robot or an octopus?
Yes.
And I'll extend my hand and I'll start gathering up this fine dust, at least into like a snowball-sized mass, if I can.
As I'm watching him do that, I'd be like, have we been breathing that in the whole time?
Probably.
I haven't.
Aaron, with my acute senses, can I detect if any of this is in me?
Well,
funny you should ask.
In fact,
maybe don't ask questions you don't want the answer to.
It's in me.
In fact, yes, there is some of this in you and in Marshall or Bulwark.
They're metal chlorians.
Metachlorians. No.
Oh.
Oh, so
I mean, that was really good, but no.
So that's the Star Wars movie Bulwark has seen.
It makes sense.
Now you know why I didn't watch any of the rest.
Professor Cephalopod. I'll hand the robot the snowball of little metal. I'll guide them into the vial or whatever collection device Professor Cephalopod has. That's in me and Marshall. I can feel it.
Interesting.
Is it in any of the rest of us?
I'll hold my hand up to Portal and close my eyes and focus real hard.
I will, like that scene in Ocean's 11. I'm gonna kind of close my eyes and cover my crotch.
So, Ethan, give me a perception check.
Here we go. 19.
19?
I'm happy with it. 19.
Okay. Yeah, so there are none of this metallic substance seems to have entered into the bodies of Portal or Keone, or it's a little hard to tell through the metal suit of Professor Cephalopod, but you don't think there's anything there either.
Is there any on him?
No, not at this point. But there is a difference between the particles that are in your body and that are still on the scene. But what that difference is probably going to require more scientific knowledge than you actually have.
I will gather some for Tommy to examine too.
Okay.
And I'll let Portal know. No, I don't feel anything in or on you. from a metal point of view. I don't know what you carry around inside you generally, but
I mean, you can sense the fillings in his left molar, but left back molar or left bottom molar.
I'm
All
gonna
molars.
squirrel that information away in case I ever get disarmed.
Oh.
Who else has bad oral hygiene? I just need to know for future reference.
Bulwark, Crucible. Where were you two when this thing went off?
I'll point.
I was having lunch in there.
Okay.
Like
I
the
imagine
blown
his
out store.
bus is still.
And then I'm gonna look over to the chief, and say, Chief Tolliver.
So he was standing far enough back that he's not like you'll actually have to call him over. He was intentionally making sure that no one was listening in on you guys.
Okay. I'll actually create a portal so he can come over a little more quickly.
Portal, wait, are you sure you want to tell him about this?
I have a question I want to ask him.
Do we trust him?
Who else can we trust?
I mean, I don't really trust y'all.
I trust you.
Just because I changed in front of you doesn't mean anything.
Just give a look like...
I were 60 years younger.
I assumed that happened in the bathroom at my dorm.
No, my suit is like I just basically like, well, I'm not going to say it. I was going to say I just basically touched myself and turned it.
When she thinks about you.
I suddenly become much more worried about my children. Because apparently this is what the kids are doing these days.
Tommy doesn't want anybody else.
All right. So Chief Tolliver comes over after you beckon him over.
So are you aware of the connection between Redshift and Mars Tech?
Gonna say he just kind of looks at you and goes, not directly, no.
They're a wholly owned subsidiary. So someone might want to talk to...
Fiona throws a snowball in the back of his head. Hey, don't give away everything to someone we're not 100% sure we trust.
Right in front of him.
Legit don't care.
He's the chief of police.
And?
Well, if someone should... Can you get us a conversation with Maximilian Mars? Oh my god.
Portal can't see my eyebrows raising underneath the mask.
Maximilian Mars, because clearly this explosion is connected to the metas. Is he doing some kind of experiments? Or is he aware of this connection that he just drove? He literally had a truck full of meta creating stuff.
Is that the technical term for it?
Absolutely. Right through the middle of downtown. The tourist center of downtown, even.
To that point, Chief, you're probably going to want to do some contact tracing of people who are in this immediate vicinity.
What was that, Alex?
To that point, Chief, you're probably going to want to do some contact tracing of the people in this immediate vicinity at the time of the explosion.
That was a lot of people, but...
That's where all the super people are going to be stemming from.
It's now a lot of metas.
Well,
Potentially.
potentially. We also were getting reports of metas from, or potential metas around the city shortly thereafter.
My granddaughter was with me, and she didn't have any changes.
How do you know?
Well,
Did you hit her with
I
an
don't,
SUV?
but
Wait, Chief, you said, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you're saying people developed powers outside of the blast area?
There was a cloud. I saw it as I flew in.
I did too.
The cloud dispersed pretty quickly. I'm sure it was probably most concentrated here, but it could have spread across the entire city.
Okay, so we're not talking about, we're not definitively talking about powers outside of the area effective. And he'll wave generally over towards the destroyed truck.
I don't know. But it's definitely something that we'll have to try to get on top of.
Fun.
I can definitely see what I can do about trying to get a contact with Maximilian Mars for you. Can't exactly issue a warrant for his arrest based on this, but
no.
No,
And
well,
we can't go in. I mean, Crucible, we can, even assuming that your hypothesis is correct, we can't go in and make accusations.
yeah, we don't even know for sure.
Certainly not somebody with his money, because he'll just sue the snot out of us.
Yeah,
So it has to be handled delicately.
Should we make an LLC so we don't get sued individually? Anyway. Chief, for what it's... I think I can tell if people have been affected by what happened.
So we just have to have everybody in the city walk past you?
I mean, I can walk past them if you want, if that's easier.
I mean...
I believe the chief was being sarcastic.
I may have been turning it back on him.
Let me see what I can do about getting you a meeting with Mars. And then he'll look at Portal and say, right now, the only contact I have to get in touch with you, is to get in touch with you. Will that get in touch with everyone?
I'll make sure it does.
I will work on the octo signal.
All
What
right.
is that nonsense?
Chief, if you can, tell me you will keep it to yourself, I will give you my number.
Like I said, my uncle was...
Until we have another, better way to handle this. So I will give him my number.
Okay.
I'll kind of look at Keone, and I'll take my phone out, and I'll text Tommy. And I'll say, I'll get you all in touch with my friend Overwatch. And I'll text him, I'll say, I need a Google number we can give the cops.
On it. And then he'll text you a number back.
This is the best way to get in touch with Crucible.
He's now referring to himself in the third person. Love it.
My powers are on the fritz, okay? I'm not used to this.
All right.
And
Sure they are.
I'll tell the chief I can get a hold of Professor Cephalopod and Tommy, and not Tommy, Portal, and if Crucible will give me the number, I will happily put it in my phone.
Bulwark, if you ever need assistance, Overwatch is a great guardian of the city. And I'll give him Tommy's number.
Okay.
Okay.
Keone, do we have a way to get a hold of you?
Maybe.
She's got my number.
That's very specific.
Okay.
I'm still determining whether or not I trust you all.
Okay.
I am very trustworthy.
Says
I can vouch for that.
says the mecha octopus.
I mean,
Wait a minute, Bulwark, you know the octopus?
There was a time I was doing some work in Japan, and the wife and I were snorkeling, and yes, I met the octopus.
I bet you had fun at Woodstock.
I was in Vietnam during Woodstock.
It's a good thing I'm wearing a mask because Ethan just gets a pale white face.
okay.
All right, well, the city needs me. I'm gonna go on patrol. Keone, do you want to get out of here?
Sure. We can patrol together.
Bulwark, that's what they're calling it these days.
I didn't say it.
A euphemism's easier to follow than those damn emojis.
True.
All
Why
right.
did you text me a zucchini?
Oh, was that you? Shoot, that was the wrong number.
Okay. So, Keone and Crucible are on patrol.
And I will give Keone my real phone number when we get away from
Okay.
the rest of the group.
What are the rest of y'all doing?
I'm staring after the two that ran away, going, okay. So we should be a team.
We should. What do you think, Portal?
Yeah, but that Octa Squad name, that no.
What? There are 8 of us,
There are 5 of us.
plus Overwatch
Yes.
and granddaughter.
That's 7.
There was someone else. Who was I thinking of?
Your wife is dead.
Oh,
You don't know that.
Wait, who was the 7th?
The granddaughter.
Bulwark's
The
great.
granddaughter, apparently.
Like,
And
I'm sure she's going to want to be involved, but I want her as far from the danger as possible.
and the chief. There are civilian.
The granddaughter could be our Edna Mode. She
The
could
chief
create
is
our costume.
not. The chief of police is not on our super team.
It works
Sure
for
he
Batman.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
That's because Batman. Well, you're not even there, so. Huh.
Anywho,
I do eventually have to go back with Professor Cephalopod to pick up my chair or my car.
okay.
Oh, you can pick it up while you're here, because it's still here.
No, I drove it over to your.
I thought you Ubered because your car was still here.
I Ubered.
No, he Ubered to get
Here
his
to
car
get my
and then
car.
go get it to your lab.
Gotcha.
That way, I
Okay.
wasn't Ubering to your lab.
Gotcha. That makes more sense.
All right.
Should we bring Portal with us?
Sure.
With you where?
Yeah.
All right. So I think this looks like a good place to wrap for the night with Keone and Crucible on patrol. And Portal, Professor Cephalopod, and Bulwark headed back to the lab with a baseball-sized collection of fine gray metallic particles that I'm assuming the scientific types are going to want to examine.
We're going to science.
They're going to science.
Hey.
We're gonna find some people to beat up.
So
I'm
let's
gonna go
go
on
ahead.
patrol.
Let's go ahead and call it there for a night. I would like to thank our audience for tuning in to us tonight and being with us as we have been having super heroic hijinks and ridiculousness. I hope you guys are having half as much fun as we are, because I sure am having a blast. Thursday, we will have a new blog post up over on untoldstoriesproject.com. On Friday, our new episodes that have gone onto YouTube for the past week will be posted also to untoldstoriesproject.com. And next Monday, we will have a brand new episode of Nether War with Alex GMing. And Alex, you want to give them some idea of what they should expect if they tune into that next week?
Bad news. Our heroes left off with Mortis getting sucked down into the underworld, trying to prevent something from crossing over to the other side, and then 3 other portals opened up, and the armies of Hades, corrupted by Nether Una, have come through into Freedom City. So the south side will be under siege by the undead, and that's going to be a blast, I assume.
I hate it when that happens.
That all sounds terrible.
Yeah,
That
we're
does
having
all
a much
sound
nicer
terrible.
time than they are here in Emerald City.
And of course, we will be back here next Tuesday with another episode of City of Destiny as our heroes continue to explore Emerald City and try to convince the city and Keone
Each other.
that they
about
should
it.
be heroes that the city needs. Heroes, do any of you have something that you would like to plug or mention before we wrap for a night? Alex, we'll start with you.
Yeah, thank you for hanging out here with us at USP, and don't forget that we do have that USP GR ambassador code with Green Ronin if you need to pick up some M&M products of your own. It works on PDFs and physical copies. You get 5% off, and we get 12% back. It's great. I'll pass it over to Wiki.
I got nothing.
Howard?
Everybody have a good week. Play some games.
Aunt Puppy?
Like it till you make it, guys.
Flake
And
it till
Brandon.
you make it. Oh my god.
The English teacher says, go read a book.
All right. Well, then we will wrap it up and we will see you here next week. Thanks so much for joining us.
Okay.
And